Hello, welcome to our live product demonstration for Kyocera for the State of Wyoming Copier Contract 2020-2025. Just some introductions. My name is Reese Peterson. I'm the State of Wyoming Account Manager. You'll see Devin Peterson later. He's our Northeast Regional Manager. He'll be doing the live demonstration of the Kyocera product. Some other contact information for ordering and order support. You'll be contacting me at wycontract@officeshopinc.com. Any invoice and billing questions for ongoing questions throughout the contract, you'll be speaking with Kelly Hammond, kellyh@officeshopinc.com. For service and support, and this will be reflected on our stickers on the front of the machine, our asset tags, you'll have our 800 number, 855-333-0100, or you can reach us at dispatch@officeshopinc.com. A little bit about our service coverage. Our Wyoming service centers and our headquarters, they're all in Wyoming. Cowley, Wyoming is our headquarters. We also have service centers in Riverton, Green River, Casper, Sheridan, and Cheyenne. We also have a service center in South Dakota in Rapid City. Right now, our average response time in the state of Wyoming is 3.75 hours. We also have an 85% first call fix rate, which means 85% of the time we're responding with the part the first time, and that other 15% are unforeseen circumstances such as hard drive failures or screen failures. At the end of this, we'll have a live question and answer session, and those will be submitted on the chat. With YouTube, you can start submitting those questions now if you have any, and then we'll address those at the end. Kyocera has won lots of awards from Buyers Lab Incorporated for being highly recommended and reliable. And then we also have a service center in Idaho talking about Yoast, and we'll talk about that coverage when we go over the catalog. Buyers Lab also gave Kyocera the award for being the most reliable color copier MFP brand, and this reliability tag has been offered from 2018 to 2021 for the most reliable color copier MFP brand. Something that we're offering new with this State of Wyoming copier contract for Kyocera is the two-tier color option. And so what the two-tier color option is it gives you a 50% discount off of your color rate if you are doing the simple color or some business color. And so most of those prints will count as that tiered color, the lower tier, so 50% off. And we'll touch on that a little more when we go over the catalog as well. And then you have the different section here with creative color, that would be full color, and the full color copier cost or print cost. So we're going to go, I'm going to exit the slideshow here, and we're going to go over the Kyocera catalog and how to access that from our website and how to download that, and then we'll touch on the products in there as well. So first you're going to go to officeshopinc.com/wycontract. And you'll see this is where you access the product live demonstrations today and yesterday. You're going to scroll down to the Kyocera 2020 product catalog. So where we start with this Kyocera product catalog is we actually start with the A4 devices, starting with black and white. So I'm just going to show one device, and then I'll scroll to the color device. This is how you can tell if they are color or black and white. This is a Kyocera monochrome product. Here are some of the specifications for that product. And then the catalog pages are all formatted the same. You have the 60-month lease price for the state of Wyoming here. This is going to be the machine, and then the accessories down here. And then your cost per copy is going to be located in the blue square at the bottom left of every page. And so this is a monochrome or black and white device, so it only has one cost per copy. It doesn't have that color cost per copy. So I'm going to scroll down to the color options now, so you can see those, and we do have a lot of offerings for monochrome options for A4 from Kyocera. So here's a color option. You can see right here where it says color, a Kyocera color product. This is a full color machine, so it will print and scan in color. Here are the specifications for this device. And then if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see the 60-month lease price here, machine, accessories, and then down here in the bottom left-hand corner, the cost per copy, black and white cost per copy, and then color cost per copy. And then you go through all of the A4 devices, and then we get into the A3 devices. So the difference between A4 and A3, A4 can do up to legal size, which is 8.5 by 14, and A3 can do up to 11 by 17. Some of the Kyocera product will be able to do 12 by 18. You just need to watch this area right here for those devices. This particular device, the 3212i, can only do up to 11 by 17, but some of the other models, these Task Alpha models, will be able to do up to 12 by 18. So this is a monochrome product, highlighted right here. Here's the monthly lease price, the accessory lease price, and we'll go over some of these accessories here and answer any questions that you have about which accessories you should be selecting in our live product demonstration with Devin. Here's the cost per copy for this device, again in the bottom left-hand corner. So in the A3 devices, we're going to black and white, and then we're going to be moving into the color equipment. We also have a page in our Kyocera catalog explaining what the tiered color printing is, and we can answer any questions on those as well, but it's showing here that 50% discount for anything that is less than 4% coverage. Anything over 4% coverage will be the full price, and those examples I showed in the PowerPoint presentation are good examples of what 4% coverage actually is. So here's a full color device, again highlighted here, specifications. You can see that 12 by 18, and then also doing banner printing up to 12 by 48, single sheet. Here's the monthly lease price here and the accessory prices. And then we also have our cost per copy here, highlighting the two-tier color pricing, showing the less than 4% coverage and for greater than 4% coverage. So we'll go through these devices from our lower volume A3 devices to mid volume, and then we'll go up to our higher volume A3 devices as well, ending with color 8353 CI. Something new that we're offering on the Kyocera copier contract is actually single function printers. So this monochrome SFP stands for single function printer. This is a black and white printer, and these are really solid printers. They would be great replacements for any HP, Dell, Lexmark, or any printer that you're currently using in your office. This would be a really great replacement, and here's why. Low monthly price for the accessories, as well as a low monthly price for the cost per copy on this unit. It would be, in most cases, probably a 30% reduction at minimum from what you're currently paying. Here is your full color product here. Again, single function printer. Lease price and accessories. I'm going to scroll down to the last page of the catalog. So this shows our service territories. So here's the Office Shop Incorporated service centers: Casper, Cheyenne, Cowley, Green River, Rapid City, Riverton, and Sheridan. So these service center addresses have changed in Casper and in Sheridan. They will be posted at a later date. Also, the contact information here for Randy Peterson is no longer available. You'll just be contacting me at the WI contract or at this resetofficeshopping.com. We also have our service partner that we used last time for Teton, Lincoln, and Sublette County. And so this is Yoast Business Systems, and they've been a good partner for us. And so they're authorized in those 3 counties, and we are authorized in all counties statewide to service and sell Kyocera product. So I'm going to move into the order form and just how to use that. And we actually had to update this order form from yesterday. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this link here, and it's going to download here. It's going to open up Microsoft Excel. You'll have to click Enable Editing. And I like to zoom out to 80% or 70% so that we can see that whole sheet here. And you'll notice the difference from our previous shows, that this order form has changed to add the bill to location and the ship to location. And so these are both very important, so then we can make sure that the invoice gets to the right place and that the machine gets delivered to the correct place. So if you fill out this form, you'll want to fill out all this information here. You'll want to fill out all the information here. This anticipated monthly volume is an estimate, so this gives you a good idea of what you can form your budget to or plan your budget. This is not a reflection of what your invoice will actually be, because that's just based on how many prints and copies that you make. So what you're going to do first is you're going to select the model that you want to use, and I'm going to go down to the 4003i. So this is a monochrome device, populates automatically the price of that device from the catalog, and then I can go in here and select multiple accessories so that that list populates for me with the cost and the total cost for everything. Then you get that sent in to the authorized leasing entity signature, and then also we need the agency signature, and you'd send that to your A&I office, Mandy Gershmel, and then they will get it to me, and then we will process the order for the machine. So I'm going to go back here, and we're actually going to go and move into our live demonstration. We're going to show a short video just updating us on what Kyocera has been up to over the last 5 years. And then we'll move into the live product demonstration, followed by the question and answer session.
It's a new world. A world with new complexities. A world with countless opportunities. More dynamic. More resourceful. More profitable. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. The new world runs on data at every company, of every size, in every industry. Only now, the opportunity is bigger. Paper and digital, documents and data, desktop and mobile, server and cloud. In this new world, customers have new expectations. Our partners have new opportunities, which is why Kyocera is becoming a new kind of company, starting today. A company that turns information into knowledge. A company that keeps that knowledge secure. A company that sees economic efficiency as a partnership with environmental responsibility. A company that is driven by constant learning to help people make better decisions in less time. A company that puts knowledge to work to drive change. Our new brand identity is our signal to you. Kyocera is becoming a new kind of partner. More customer-centric. More relationship-driven. To help you do more for your customers than ever before. It's a new world with higher expectations, with bigger opportunities. And the time is now. A time to put knowledge to work to drive change. Kyocera Document Solutions.
All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of the product show here. This morning we're going to be showing you the Kyocera product line. So the interesting thing about that, and the reason why I had to pause with that, is because the guys have been teasing me a little bit, because I do add a little extra R in here Been doing it for the last 5 years, something that I do struggle with. So the interesting thing and why I bring that up and why I like to mention that is because Kyocera is difficult to say. And those people who are from Xerox, who had Xerox this last 5 years, might not be aware of who they are, might not be aware of what they represent, or their product line. But as we discussed it, I kind of felt the same way before the state contract the previous year, or previous 5 years ago. But over the last 5 years, there's a couple of things that we do know about the Kyocera product and that we are proud to represent as the Office Shop Incorporated. We feel like we have a lot of values that are similar, and that's really the personal touch that they give to you. We've never worked with a company, a dealership that I've ever had so many contacts with. There's a handful of people that I can actually reach out to anytime that we have questions, anytime that we have problems. They always seem to be available to us. And that's one thing that we really appreciate, especially when we talk about when it comes to servicing your devices, servicing the machines that you have. If there's something that we can't figure out, we can't find, they're always ready to either actually email us or even during this crazy time, even able to come out here and help us out, which I find to be extremely great. So when we talk about the product Kyocera, how to say the word, to me, hey, it's a pretty black box, but the most important thing is the service and the support that we do get from them and the product that they stand behind and they represent. They're extremely proud of it and proud of what it can do. And the things that, before we even start talking about it, that you're going to notice as we go through this, is you're going to see the little things that they do well as they have the consumer in mind, as you go through how to access the device, the ease of use, the little tools, the features, those kinds of things that they do give you. So what we want to do is show you the device, the products, the things that this model can offer you. So what we're going to be looking at today is going to be probably something that most offices in the state are going to be interested in, is maybe this configuration, but definitely this model. This is a 50-page per minute color device. It's the Kyocera Task Alpha 5053 CI. And how we have this model configured is we have it with the DP, so a document processor. So you did see that order form from Reese as he walked through it. DP is the document processor, and this one is the 7110. This model right here is the one that I would probably recommend to most of you. You're going to see in the price that you have 3 different selections, and this one is the middle of the road, but it's the one that I think you're going to find to do the jobs that you want to do. How it is equipped is it does have the ability to scan documents both sides in a single pass. So instead of, you might be familiar with the RADF or the reversing automatic document feeder, where it pulls the paper in, sucks it back, turns it around, spins it around, and brings it back through, and you swear it does it like 400 times. You're like, oh my gosh, this is like the slowest thing in the world. Well, this document feeder, the DP7110, reads both of the documents at the same time, or both sides of the document at the same time. So it speeds up your scan speed, as well as the ability, if you print those duplex documents and those kinds of things, it makes it a little more convenient for you. Okay, so let's talk about this and the little different features on it, because everybody, when you make copies and you make scans, those things, you're going to get a call, I got streaks on my paper, or I got a line on my paper. And then usually you hear from the service department, well, did you clean the slate glass? And, well, okay, did you wipe it down? Kyocera makes that extremely easy for us to do, and it's pretty simple, pretty easy. So we'll have right here, we'll show you what that looks like. This is the slit glass that they're talking about, is this little rectangle, this little square right here. That's the glass that the document processor is actually going to read. So when they ask you to clean that, that's this one, to read your front side. And Kyocera actually gives you a nice little orange cloth that's located in the back of the document processor right here. We lift it up, and we can actually wipe this glass down, just like that, okay? Other vendors, other products that you might be aware of or that you've seen make it difficult to get to that second glass, because you have to actually pull this screen down, you have to get inside, and that makes it difficult. With Kyocera, they've actually made it simple, easy to use for the consumer, and they've put that backside glass just right on the inside of here. And so you no other covers, no anything else that you have to move, and you just wipe it down and close it down. Again, like I mentioned before, easy for the consumer, easy for you to operate, to take care of, to do the little things that you do have to do. Okay? The next thing you're going to see that is equipped on this device is you're going to see the internal finisher, or the inner finisher, as you'll see it in your pricing catalog. This device, or this feature right here, has the ability to stack up to 500 sheets of paper. You can configure it to have a hole punch as well. So if you do need hole punching, it is available in this finisher. What is the benefits of this? Well, it can stack 500 sheets of paper, it can staple up to 50 sheets, and we can do our hole punching. So we can basically do all of the jobs that we need to do, all those little things that we need to do in a smaller footprint. Not taking up so much space in our office, and still be able to have the same functionality of something that has the big honking external finisher on it. If you do find yourself doing larger jobs that are going to need more stacking capability, and you're going to run those bigger long jobs, you're going to want to look into the two different options that we do have as booklet finishers. You have an external finisher, it's a little smaller, and it'll be able to stack up to 1,000 sheets of paper. It'll be able to staple, do your offset collating as well as hole punching if you want to add that feature as well. And then you can also get a larger external finisher that allows you to staple up to 60 pages or even up to 100 pages if you want to, and can stack up to 4,000 sheets of paper. You also can enable and have a booklet mode. If you need to saddle stitch and fold in booklet, you can do that as well, which is a nice little feature. So when you start talking about your footprint, the environment that you're in, those are things that we should consider. And if you have any questions on, well, is this finisher good for me? As Reese mentioned before, do not hesitate to reach out to us, to make contact, because we would love to help configure the device to best fit your environment. Okay? The next thing that we do want to cover is also the difference in the paper capacities that they have, the different paper options. As you can see here with the Kyocera product, you're going to have, it's going to come standard with 2 paper drawers. Okay? Both of these drawers have the ability to hold up to 500 sheets of paper. Okay? You're going to see here in the first drawer, as we open this up, this first drawer is a little smaller than the second drawer, and I'll touch on that in a second and the reason why. But Kyocera does something that I haven't seen any other vendors do, or any other products be able to do, because as we start talking about footprints and development, devices are making changes, and I'll show you what that is here in just a second. But this first drawer here is going to be able to be set up for 8.5 by 11, or all the way up to legal size paper, which is 8.5 by 14. And to make that paper change, they made it pretty dang easy. There's a blue tab here. You pinch that blue tab and it slides that way. And then this one, I like to think of it kind of as a pill bottle, you know, those child safety pill bottles where you pinch the size of the lid and you turn it. That's what this guy works just like. And you'll see these little blue tabs right here. You just take it, pinch it, and slide it out. All you need to do at that point is actually just turn the paper, or put your paper size in. Make sure that the guides at that point are tight up against the paper, and you're good to go. As soon as I close the drawer, the device is automatically going to know what size of paper is in the drawer. If it's 8.5 by 11, if it's letter R, whatever it is, it'll know. But the one feature that I do love about this is Kyocera has tried to make it give you as many options as possible. So instead of just being able to run letter through the drawer, they said, hey, let's make it be able to at least do 8.5 by 14 or our legal size paper. So to do that, they've made it like you pull this tab all the way to the back, and then it just lays down like so. And they allow you to actually access this portion right here for your 8.5 by 14 paper. So again, we just make sure that paper is tight up against the guides, and we would be able to print 8.5 by 14 out of that first drawer as an option. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put our paper drawer back the way we want it. And again, make sure the paper is tight up against it, or the guides are tight up against the paper. There we go, and we close it. And how about that soft close action, huh? All right, like I said, consumer minded. Anyway, second drawer, Your second drawers look just like this. They're configured. You can do up to 12 by 18 size paper out of these drawers. So that's really handy and really important if we start talking about doing booklets or oversized paper. And the reason for that is because it allows for trimming and those kinds of things as well. So most of the time, if you're using 12 by 18, you're aware of the advantages there. But same thing, they work exactly the same. Just blue tabs, adjust to the size of the paper that you want. And again, close the drawer and it will automatically tell the device what's in it. So those are going to be your standard paper features with your A3 devices. Down here on the bottom, this is the customizable section that you have. We currently have this one configured with the DF, right? Oh, did I mess that up? No, PF, paper feed. Whew. Remember what you're talking about, Devin. So you're talking about the paper feed. So this is the paper feed 7110. Okay, and what it's going to offer you is the dual side letter drawers. Okay, these drawers here can handle up to 3 reams of paper. So we're talking about 1,500 sheets of paper in each drawer, giving you a total capacity in these 2 drawers of 3,000 sheets of letter size paper, which is a nice little handy option that we do have for you. Obviously, it has your little fill line here, and you just stack it in. The one thing I do want to point out and tell people is when we start putting paper in these drawers, we want to make sure anytime we drop paper down into the drawer that at least we're fanning it, that we're making sure that it's fanned. There's no paper that's stuck together or crinkled together, but it is in there nice and neat. And that'll help also prevent jams and all sorts of different issues because, when you think about it, we're taking, a piece of paper and the copier's trying to get it through really like a millimeter slot that it's got to fit through. So we want to make sure that we make that as easy as possible and not trying to fit 2 or 3 or 4 sheets of paper through that little slot. Okay, so we just fill that drawer full and then close them up and then we're good to go with that. Okay, so now that we continue on the paper feed, we're going to go to the bypass, and I want to show you the bypass trays. We're talking about paper feeding because this is just right here, easily accessible. We just put our paper into the bypass drawer, move the guides to the size of paper that we're looking for. This is going to be super beneficial for anything, large, anything heavy stock, because it's allowing us to have a straighter shot through the device. So you can run all your heavier media through this drawer. You can do envelopes, you can do, labels. I told people yesterday that they can run product through there, and I told them not to do it. So it's not spec'd for it, but really you can run some really heavy stuff through it. It's pretty impressive, but don't do that. All right, so that's the bypass. Okay, what I want to show you next is let's talk about the toner and the reason why the first drawer can only do up to 8.5 by 14. So your toner is going to be located right here in this handy dandy first little cabinet. All we have to do is open that door open, and what you're going to see is you're going to see the 4, this is obviously, like I mentioned, a color device, so you're going to see the 4 toners that we do have. The first thing that people always ask us, they always want to know is, hey, how come I can't get into that toner? I want to change that toner cartridge, okay? So what we do inside of here is, the reason why we can't get in there is because Kyocera wants you to have eliminate again consumer error, consumer mistakes. We want to make it as easy as possible. So we want you to get the most out of your toner cartridge. So the device, the toners, if you could look at them and see them, they're like if you squeeze them like a pop can, they're a little pressurized, and they have a little auger system inside of them that actually pulls all of the toner out. So you might be previous or in your last device, whatever it is, you can take that toner and shake it, dance with it, do whatever, stick it back in, and then get additional prints and copies out of this. When this is out, it is 100% out, okay? So the device will actually tell you, oh, I need to replace it, and you hit the button here, and then that door opens up and falls open. You take the new one, stick it in, and it's ready to go. It's operational. You're good to go. So it maintains it and eliminates customer error. So the other thing is, it's nice, like I mentioned, why is that 8.5 by 14? It's because Kyocera, again, wants to eliminate downtime. They want you to operate, want you to use your devices. With the consumer in mind, they said, well, what's one of the biggest problems that we see? Well, waste toners. If you have a device, you're very familiar with the waste toner, and if your waste toner's full, you're either dumping one out or you're waiting for it to show up, or all sorts of different problems. So Kyocera says, well, we're going to eliminate that completely. So with this device, you're going to have your black toner. All you need to do is anytime you replace this black toner, anytime, even if your waste toner is not full, if you replace your black toner, you're going to take that black toner out, okay? And you're going to take it and you're going to put it right here inside, and it will now become your new waste toner. So we just take our old black toner cartridge, take it, stick it in, slide it in, close the door, and you're good to go. It eliminates, so I'll show you that one more time, waste toner. Again, your old used black toner cartridge now becomes your waste toner. Okay? The other thing that is nice about these, this is almost exactly what your waste toner is going to look like. I want to show you on the camera. I don't know if you can see that. This is what I mentioned before when I talked about waste, and you can't shake it and get any more out of it, right? It's pressurized. It's going to push all that toner out so you don't have any waste. And that's exactly what it's going to look like. As you notice too, on these devices, or on these toner cartridges, you can see there's no metal on them. So they are 100% recyclable. So if you live in towns, and I don't know necessarily where they have recycling, but I do know in Sheridan County, where I am personally from, they have recycling. You can actually take this, put this in the recycling, and they'll take it for you. Or Kyocera is actually pretty awesome. They do have a free recycling program that you can actually, if that's something that you want to do, is recycle your toners and your town does not have recycling, you can actually do that. It's 100% free. You just receive a label, slap it on the box, and they take it away for you. So it's pretty neat. So if you want to help save the environment, help reduce the plastic waste, definitely look into that, okay? All right. So we go ahead, slide that back in there for us. All right. And the reason why I bring that up and why that's so important is because you're going to notice almost every vendor's doing it. Is again, we want to save space, all this. So they've taken their waste toners, made them, taken them from wherever they were in the back of the device or right here, and they're putting them right here. And so it's eliminating this drawer to just being 8.5 by 11. And that's why I said it was so important that Kyocera, if you remember, I showed you the 8.5 by 14 availability here. I'm not aware of any other vendor that does that currently, so that's a nice little feature if that's a paper type that you do run frequently, for sure. That is basically the features. I don't know if we can see our little panel right here. That's okay. So yeah, so I didn't show everybody this yesterday, but I wanted to point this out to you because when we start talking about the different configurations that we do have, this is one of them that Kyocera offers. This guy right here is fully loaded. It has all your different features. So you can see our 5053, well, we have the internal finisher. But here, we have our big guy, the big finisher, right? With the booklet, with the one that can stack 4,000 sheets. We can have this be your faxes so they don't get separated, or so they can be separated if you don't want them to get, you know what I mean. Anyway, so we do that. This has the keyboard tray. You'll see pricing for that as well. That's just handy if you're going to be doing a lot of typing. For those people who, we did have some questions yesterday about naming files and those kinds of things, this is super handy feature to have as well. You'll notice when we go to the screen on the monitor that there are no more hard keys. So you'll see that you can actually add a hard key if you do decide you want that feature as well. This has the same paper setup that we do have, but it also, as you see here, you can do the big guy, the big pod deck right here. If you're going to be doing a lot of letter, or they even have options for 11 by 17 for big paper pass as well. One thing I wanted to point out too about the bypass that we talked about is it has availability to do banner size paper. So those long sheets, you probably saw them, like remember back in school when they had like the happy birthdays. That's what I remember when I think of banner paper. You can do that through this device as well by doing that. So it's pretty neat, pretty fun stuff that's available. Again, trying to make it as customizable, as user-friendly and intuitive. Do the jobs that you do every day is kind of the deal when they think about these devices. Okay, so we're going to start talking about the panel. But the one thing is obviously we're doing this remote job right now. We're doing we're not down in Cheyenne doing the product demo show, and the reason for that is because of COVID-19. Everybody's trying to practice social distancing. People don't want to touch stuff. They don't want to, they don't want the germs, and frankly, that's gross anyway. So let's see. What I want to show you is what Kyocera has done they actually developed this a while ago, about 4 years ago, but it's really taken off over the last little bit. They actually have an app, and it's available for both Android and iPhone. So whatever smartphone you have, you can get it, or you can actually put it on a tablet if you want to. It is available for you at those stores. It's 100% free. You just need to go and download it. And it's called Kyocera My Panel is what it's called. So go ahead and find it. We have it downloaded. We personally always download it because it's a handy little tool. But what it's going to allow you to do is actually have a remote operator. And I'd show you on my phone, but it'd be really small. I thought about it for a second. But it's going to turn your panel into your phone. Your phone's going to be the panel. So if I'm worried about germs and contagions and those kinds of things, I don't have to touch the screen. My device now is 100% touchless. I can actually walk up, put my documents into my document feeder, not touching the device. There we go. Put my documents into the device, and from the app, log back. From the app, all I have to do is tell it how many copies I want. Do I want them in color, black and white? Because anything that you can do at the device panel, you can do from this application. So if I want to scan documents to my email or to my file, I can do that as well. If I want it to staple, I can do that. So I put my documents in my document feeder, go ahead and I hit the start button on my phone. And you'll see here it turns my panel. It says using functions remotely. And it will go ahead and start the operation. Oh, did I mess it up? Oh, there we go. And it'll go ahead and, do the job for us. Do my job for me, so I can actually come over, I can pick up my paper, and the jobs that do come out, I can actually receive those and essentially be touchless. Okay? And that's the Kyocera My Panel. So like I mentioned, they do offer that availability for us to make things a little easier for us to operate. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the panel. We're going to actually look inside and see the jobs that we do when we come to the device. Like I mentioned, the first thing that you're going to notice is the beautiful touch screen. It's a beautiful glass touch screen. It's not plastic. It's not, you touch devices and it's like flimsy. Kyocera doesn't do that. They actually give you a nice little display right here. So what we're going to do is we'll show you the different features. So we have, we'll start here in the copy mode. So you go ahead and we'll select copy. A lot of people are familiar with copying. Everybody's done copy before. But what we want to show you, especially people who are not familiar with this product, is some of the features that they do offer. My personal favorite, if I was making copies, is right here. It's the preview. You'll see that. So as I put my documents in, it actually shows me what it looks like. Or if I put them in a different orientation, it'll even turn them to that orientation so that I can see exactly the layout that it's going to do. It'll tell you what it's going to run. But the thing that I like the most is, well, if I'm going to make copies and I want to staple, I want to hole punch, well, I don't want it to be in my margins, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to set up our job. But what we're going to do is we're going to come in. I'm going to staple something. So I'm going to staple. You'll see in the screen in the top left-hand corner, that's where my staple is. You can adjust that to be wherever you want. You can do it left, right, bottom, bottom right, bottom left, double staple, double top staple. You can do all sorts of stuff. Hole punching is also available. It'll do 3 on the short or on the long edge, and then if you wanted to and you need it for 2, it'll do it on 2 on the top edge there. Okay? So I want to make sure that that's not going to be in my margins where I'm going to put that staple. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the preview. It'll scan my documents, and you'll actually see a copy of what your job will look like when it comes out. So pretty handy little tool there to actually make sure that we don't make errors, because when we start talking about prints, everybody's aware that prints are money, and so we want to save as much as we possibly can, save you as much as we possibly can. The settings in this device are automatically going to reset about every 90 to 2 minutes, and that is customizable. We can customize, but that's kind of what we've found to be the sweet spot. So we'll go ahead and we'll just reset our features here for now as we start going through the different options that we do have. So auto, you have your paper selection. You can actually, it's set to auto right now, so whatever size it reads in the document feeder or on the glass, it'll automatically pull. Or you can select based on what paper type you do want. So that's handy if you have, I have my cardstock in drawer 3, or I have colored paper in drawer 4. Well, I just want to go in and I want to go ahead and select the one that I want. Okay, make sure that it pulls from there. Inside of here, you can also do your one-sided, your two-sided, your booklets, your long edge, calendar type, stapling. You can combine images. They put that right on the screen there for you. That is what I find to be the most handy for driver's licenses. So those individuals who, I got a new job application, I need a copy of your driver's license, so you can put the restrictions and those kinds of things on there as well. Combination staple, we showed that, but inside of here you can go with your original, you can do offset collating staple, mixed size originals. Your color and image quality, so inside of here you can actually select your color, you can adjust the saturation, hue adjustment, sharpness, contrast, all sorts of different stuff that you have for color that you can do. You can do trapping, a lot of different features for color. Your layout, this is what I do like we talked about. You can combine images, you can insert covers. You can actually, if you do insert covers for pamphlets or new trainings, new employee trainings, those things, you can have them pull in. You can insert sheets from each chapter if you want to. You can go through, you can date stamp, and you can also, text stamp and bait stamp. Underneath advanced setup, these are, I'm going to be honest with you, my personal favorite is the skip blank images or skip blank pages, because you can actually go in, say, oh, I want to turn that on, and then you can adjust the sensitivity to fit what you want it to do. And the reason why this is so gosh darn handy is because, one, we want to save paper, so a lot of times we want to print duplex. But man, when I make those copies, sometimes I have single-sided, double-sided, and I don't want the white, the blank pages or the color pages in there. So we can actually say, we're getting rid of it, and it'll actually delete those out for us. So my new copy won't have any blank pages, which is a feature that I really appreciate and I really enjoy. Okay, so if we have this job, we have an entire job set up, and we want to make it easy. So I want to come up and I want to make a copy. Well, and these are my settings, but I don't want to go look for them every time. I don't want to have to do them all the time. We can come in and hit the program button, and you can see there's some pre-programmed buttons in here. But we can add and create different buttons for different jobs that you do. So you can either add them or you can edit, and they make it incredibly easy to edit the buttons to make changes. So, usually if you had, like for schools is a great example, there's 25 kids in a class. Well, in next year, maybe they only have 15, but they're still stapling and they're still doing those things. So what they'll do is they'll come in, edit it. Well, now I only need 15 this year, boom, boom, and they're done and out the door. Okay, this can be very beneficial for, your, like I said earlier, we're talking about covers and stuff, is new employees, which is a great addition. Okay, so we can go ahead and do that. We'll go back to the home button, because my favorite analogy, and I don't know if people get it all the time, but if you play tag as a kid, you always want to go home. It's home base. It's safe. You're safe. So anyway, that's Curacao. So if you're ever anywhere in the device, there's a little home button, a little hard key home button. Like I mentioned, they got rid of them, but they kept 2, right? And that's one of them because home is safe. So we go ahead and we hit the home button. It'll take us back to the main screen, regardless of where you're at. So if you're ever anywhere in the device and you just don't know how to get there, or you're tired of messing with it, come back, hit the home button, it'll take you back to this screen. Okay, scan and send is super fantastic. You come in, this is what you're going to look at. We have ours populated with employees here. So you'll see different one-touch buttons, different one-touch operations for those that, I need to really get to Jennifer fast. All right, I'm going to hit Jennifer. Boom, Jennifer's up there, right? Oh, hit the reset button. There we go. Or you can actually have an address book inside of the device if you want to actually access those people as well. Okay? So you just select the individual that you want to send to, and you can just go ahead and hit start, and it'll send that email or it'll send that file out. But maybe sometimes we want to do different adjustments, different features, different things, depending on who we're sending to. We did have the question the other day about, well, I send myself a lot of emails. I want to make it really easy. I don't want to have to fight so hard. So you can actually either send to an email, or if possible and allowed on your network, you can actually set up a scan directly to your computer, so a scan to file, or so we can go through and do that, okay? Making it easy just to select that and send it off to you. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in the advanced setup, some of the features that we can do, and just remember that question, okay? So we have your sending image. Again, it shows you the preview. It shows you what it's going to look like. You can actually click the preview button. It'll pull your documents in so you can see exactly what they will look like. You can tell it one-sided, two-sided. You can select all the way, color, DPI, all those different things. You can also adjust your what kind of file you're sending. JPEG, TIFF, high compression PDF, PDF-A, which is actually pretty handy for, is it law offices that are going forward, where they have to have, where it has to be set for time. So if you have to do any like legal documents and scans in those where PDF-A is something that is required, hey, this device can do that. And you can actually select which kind that you need. The other thing that you can also do inside of here is encryption, which is really handy to have because you can send somebody a PDF document. And I get them a lot of times from like my bank will send me like my bank statement, and they'll say, oh, well, you can't open it until you scroll down to the bottom and read the full email, and there's your password. So you can actually set that up. So you can say, okay, well, you have to have a password to open the document. And that is really handy if you are sending the email from the device to somebody else, because you can say, hey, I sent you a PDF if it's for your eyes only, and then you can send them from your personal computer the passcode to open it, or you can put it at the bottom. I'll show you that in a second. You can also enable it to have a password to edit or print the document. So if it's something that you don't want them to print and redistribute, you can actually set this and enable a password for them to be able to do that, which is pretty awesome. So we go ahead and we hit OK. Again, you have a bunch of different little features here that you can access. Okay. So we go ahead in here, and just like making I'll show you the advanced setup. I told you I was going to show it to you, and I almost didn't. So you can go through and you have these different features, but the ones that we want to talk about and the ones that we get questions about the most is, like I mentioned, the gal who asked yesterday about scanning documents and making her job easier. Well, you can actually come in and you can either email yourself. If you're emailing yourself, you can put an email and a subject in there, in the body, or you can actually even name the file before it comes. So once it is in your email or in your file, you don't have to click on it, rename it. You can just drag it to whatever folder or whatever position that you need it in. Okay? So those are your options that you can do with that. Emailing, if you're going to email somebody directly, you can actually just say, hey, this is me, this is this is, sign it, and we're going to have that in my email when it goes to them. Okay? But again, my favorite button is the skip blank pages. Nobody wants a PDF with blanks in there. It takes up space, takes up time. I got to scroll through that extra one or click another button. No, I just want what I need. So we can actually go in, and again, once we turn it on, we will adjust to our sensitivity that we're looking for. So we go ahead, hit OK, and now my job is set up. Just like copying, if you remember, we had the ability to program buttons. You can do that here as well. You'll see right here that the copy ones are blurred out, obviously, because we're scanning, not copying. So we can go ahead and we can add our little program buttons inside of here. One thing that I do like as well is we want to, like I mentioned, Kyocera consumer. They want to make it easy for you. So let's do all of our jobs in one button push. Let's save time. So what you're going to see is you can take your program buttons, these little buttons in here, okay, and we can put those on our home screen. And it is just going to work just like a touchpad, an iPad, smartphone, whatever, and you can actually fill this whole bad boy up with buttons and just swipe to get to those different buttons if you want to. We did pull one out right here. You'll see ID card copy as a sample, so you can just line them up going across the screen just like that. Okay. You do have the ability for USB drive, scanning to USB. That is something that we've been asked quite a bit. Is that available? It is. We can enable it and turn it on for you if that's something that you're going to be doing quite frequently. So all you need to do is, you see right here, I don't know if you can see, I think so, yep. On the side of the device right here, there's a USB port. So you just come in with your thumb drive, plug it into the side of the device, and you're ready to print documents to the device and print documents and send documents to your USB drive. And that is a very handy little operational tool, a little handy deal that we really appreciate and make it easy for us to train, or if you're going to have documents that you want readily accessible or mobile, that's a great tool to be able to have for that. Okay? All right, so I think those are all the options. If you have different options, as like we talked about, we're going to do a Q&A. So if there's different features that you think that you want to see, or different questions on the operation of the device, let us know, and we'll come back to this screen that you see now, and we will show those to you. We'll demo those a little bit to you. The other thing that we want to talk about right now is the uptime and the other things that Kyocera offers us. Like I mentioned earlier, the personal support and that personal touch, it's something that we love, is service. That's how the Op Shop Incorporated, that's how we operate our business, is we base it on service. It's not about the box for us, right? Because we pick very reliable companies to do business with, people who are going to support us the way that we want to support our customers. And that comes, Kyocera is the same exact way. They've only picked vendors who they know are going to represent them well, and who are going to support their product and stand for what they stand for. So one tool that they've given us, and it's a free tool for you, is called Kyocera Fleet Services, and it is a service that I am very, very big on. I wish more manufacturers had it. Actually, I don't, because it's that good of a tool, and it's something that we do. So when we start talking about the state of Wyoming, I know there's concern about, well, it's just a big state, and it's time. It takes. I live in Sheridan. It's 2 hours to get almost anywhere. You go into Casper, 2 hours. Gillette, hour and 40 minutes. And so we do have. That's why we have 7 different service centers with factory trained technicians at each one, because we want to get to you faster. So this product, Kyocera Fleet Services, or KFS as its acronym, allows us to actually monitor your device, allows us to see the health of the device. So your toner orders, you're not going to have to order toner. KFS is going to monitor them, and then when your toner is low, it's going to automatically be sent to you. If you waste toners, like I mentioned, they do this. But if there's issues like that, we see them on the system, so we're aware of them. We can also push firmware upgrades. We can make setting adjustments. So if you have, well, I need this paper type, or I can't figure this out, we actually will come in and we can fix that. And have no problems with that. In the background, we can, there's hundreds of different things. We can clear error codes, we can get into service mode. So if there's little deals like that you need fixed or whatever, we can do that. So you're not going to be waiting, as Reese mentioned, we have a 3.5 hour response time from border to border in the state of Wyoming. Well, now if you call and you have a little issue with that with your Kyocera product, well, we can get that resolved 30 minutes, 15 minutes. If possible, it could be right when you call in. So those are things that we love about the Kyocera Fleet Services and the product that they offer versus other manufacturers that we carry and that we see out there. It's a great little tool, and it allows us to provide the service and support that we want as a company, and that Kyocera wants for their product and their devices. So that's the product. If you have questions, comments, any kind of concerns when it starts talking about configuration of your devices, and we don't get to them in the Q&A, call us. We have service or sales reps available to actually help you out and work with you and figuring out your configuration, figuring out making sure that everything fits. One little tip, if you do email us, like if you're going to shoot us an email and you're asking about configurations of your device, you're saying, hey, I have this Xerox, what's comparable? One little tip is just snap a picture with it, and then you can send it to us. We can actually look at it and say, okay, well, they have this many drawers, they have the finisher, so this is what you need. It just helps to make the process a little bit simpler for you, so you don't have to try to find out so much about, well, it's this product or it has this, this, and this. And then a little less headache for you is the thing that we like. All right, so anything else there? All right, so we'll jump into the questions here. So if you have any, just keep them coming. We have Jacob, he's our keyboard warrior over there, just going mad. You should see it, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so keep them coming. I like to watch them type. So the more the merrier. So we have the first question. Can you explain the main differences between the Task Alpha 6053 and the 7353 and the 8353? Okay, so the differences between the three different models are mainly going to be your speed. You're going to be looking at 60 pages per minute with the 6053 CI. Then you're going to be looking at 70 pages at the 7353, and then 80 pages per minute at the 8353 CI. Okay, so there's some advantages to that is also too, not only just the speed, but you're going to be looking at, well, what's my volume? Am I running a higher volume? Well, then let's maybe look at the larger device. The 6053 and the 7353, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the same footprint. No, the 7353 and 80, right. I just want to make sure so you're aware of which one's which. But the 6053 will have the same footprint as this device right here, which you're looking at. So you'll see that very similar to this, depending on what feature that you add onto it. And then the 7353 is just a little bit bigger as a footprint. But really, if you have questions on footprint or which one best fits your volume, call us and we'll be able to help you out and get you figured out. Oh yeah, yeah, this one right here. So this is what you'd be looking at for your size. Okay? All right. Next question. If you currently have a Kyocera, is there any easy way to move email addresses over to the new machine? Yes. Holly will be able to transfer all those email addresses or anything in the address book we can transfer over to your new Kyocera device. That is not a problem at all. Let's see. Our clients need us to make copies. We charge them for those. Is there any way to make different codes for other companies to know where to charge at the end of the month? Yes, there is. There's job accounting that the device has built in. You can actually set that up to do department IDs, and you can go in and have a code. So if they print to it or if they copy to it, it'll actually track it and put it to that code. If you have different departments that set up and they need restrictions, you only want that department or that company to make X amount of prints, you can actually go in and set restrictions for them as well too, based on color usage, print usage, etc. Okay? All right. How many DPI settings are there for scanning options? Well, do we have that? I'll show you right now. Do we have it up? All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and we're going to pull this up, and we got the scan and send. We're going to set up let's go here to the quick setup. So inside of here, you're going to hit your DPI, and you'll see right across here, you can see your sizes. So you have 600 by 600, 400 by 400, default is 300 by 300, and then you also do have your 200 by 400, etc. So you can see your different DPIs there that are available. I will say one thing, and I will caution one thing on this when we start talking about, because I know at the state we do send a lot of documents by email. Okay, when we start talking about sending to email, you are limited on the size that you can send by your SMTP server. Most SMTP servers only allow you to send about 15 to 20 megabytes of data. So when we start talking about adjusting the DPI and those kinds of things, you're going to be saying, well, I don't necessarily want a 600 by 600 DPI because color document, multiple pages, because that's not going to make it through to your email. However, if we are going to go to a scan file, well, you can send as much as you want because that's going directly from the copier directly to your computer. So if you do send large documents that are going to need to be high quality, 600 by 600 color, what I would recommend doing is getting and making sure that we set up a scan folder on your computer. The next question we've got is, can the job accounting codes be transferred over from a current Kyocera as well? The answer is yes, we can. We can also transfer those jobs from device to device as well. That's not a problem if we need to. Right? All right. Okay. If there's any additional questions that you do have, we'll be monitoring those, or if they come in, we can do those, or if you need questions or comments or anything like that, just let us know. Reach out to us. You can send emails to us at wycontract@officeshopinc.com. And that is just our business name. A lot of people always put INK. It is an INC. So officeshopinc.com. And our sales reps, me, Reese, Jacob, Josh, we'll be able to get in touch with you, be able to answer those questions that way as well. So definitely do not hesitate to reach out to us. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in again this morning, see the product, do those different things. One thing I do also want to offer as well, I know we're trying to do this social distancing whole thing, this is why we're here. So if we do want to say, hey, keep contact to a minimum, maybe have one-on-one, whatever it is, let us know, because we do have these products in our showrooms or in our offices. Like I mentioned, we have, you'll see on the map of our website, it's also listed in the pricer where you can find us. Sheridan, currently you can find us if you catch us this week, you can find us at 1045 Coffeen Avenue, Suite C, not Suite B, but Suite C. If it's in a couple weeks, we're going to be moving to another location there in Sheridan. Casper, you can find us at 902 North Foster Road is where we'll be. We do ask that you call and schedule a time to meet with us. To do that, just so we can make sure that we have everything up and running, and also to prevent any close quarters, etc. So please reach out to us with any questions, or if you'd like to see the Kyocera product, that'd be great. All right, and thank you so much. Have a great day.